That is Selah with Press On 99.9. I'm Bev, in for Patricia, and it is 10:20, and joining me in the studio, Mr. Harry Smith. Welcome.
So we're on the air now?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Really? Seriously?
It's cool. Yeah.
Because my first radio job, my first broadcasting job was in Pella.
No way.
And I wrote commercials for KNIA and I'm sure I don't remember this correctly, but it was for a pump company like D&D Pump. D&D Pump and Pipe.
They're right over here.
So I wrote commercials for them, and then the old vet, Doc Crawford.
Okay.
He and I would do the girls' basketball games and tape record them on a real tape recorder.
Yes.
We'd sit in, we'd go to these gyms, and there'd usually be a stage in the gym. We'd set up a card table and put the roll and sack tape recorder on there. And he would do the play-by-play, and I would do the color, and I'd read my commercials for D&D Pump and Pipe. And then they would play it back the next day because it would...
Because you didn't do it live.
The station was only on during the daytime.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So then they'd play it back the next afternoon or whatever.
What an illustrious start to your career.
So this is just like that. Right?
No, we're live now.
No, I know, but I'm back.
You're back to your roots.
You've brought me all the way back to my roots.
Well, in case people are a little confused, you are the Harry Smith from NBC News now, right?
Yep.
Kind of did a longer stint with CBS News.
Many years.
Yeah, enjoyed that. Early morning stuff.
17 years.
What time did you have to get up for early morning things? Because I've done morning radio for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And I say that I could legally commit just about any crime because I'm insane due to lack of sleep. Do you feel that way?
I always described it as feeling perpetually jet lagged.
Okay.
Right? And then you get up between 4 and 5, get in. I always tried to do all of my homework the night before, so I would just consume whatever was new news in the morning.
But stuff can happen overnight, and then you're like already behind.
Well, the thing is, if you've done your homework and you go in the office at 5, then you have time to be actually prepared.
True.
That was always, what I tell kids is, I want to do this or I want to do that. And I said, it's all about the preparation. It's all about the preparation.
Very true.
So anyway, you'd amp up and you'd get that show done, right? Mm-hmm. I'd go back to my office and I'd have to write. I used to write a daily radio commentary that ran on CBS Radio.
Called Just a Minute.
Yeah, for years. Did you Google me?
My daughter did.
Oh, okay.
And she said to me, Mom, guess what his radio show is called? I said, I have no idea. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
He said, Just a Minute. I have a granddaughter she's 6.
Yeah.
And that's her signature phrase. Because whenever you ask her to do something,
just a minute.
Just a minute.
Yeah. So I'd go into my office and get set to writing the radio commentary. I'd fall asleep in the chair. Because you just, you get that adrenaline going, and then you're back to the fact that you're sleep deprived.
Yeah, and everybody else is just coming into the office and goes, "What's wrong with you?" Yeah.
Well, they would say that anyway.
So let's just do a little history and why you're in Pella again, because you do have your roots in Pella. Like you said, you wrote for D&D Pump, but you attended Central College, right?
Absolutely. Came here in 1969, graduated in 73, and I'm on the board of trustees and very active. It's one of the things I care about most in life is working for the college. Mm-hmm. And I've had this crazy interesting life, and I met the guy who basically is one of the biggest players in the Bakken oil field in North Dakota.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And this guy's a sharecropper's son, one of 13 kids, right? Talk about pulling up by the bootstraps. Mm-hmm. So I think his personal story is really interesting, so I asked him if he would come. And so...
And you're interviewing him tonight, correct?
Yeah.
And is that open to the public? Can people come?
I think it's tickets.
Tickets,
I think
okay.
you need a ticket.
People at Central will know if they call over, right?
I suppose.
Somebody there should know.
Somebody. I'm not in charge of that.
You're not in charge of tickets.
I'm not in charge of that. I will try to be really good at the stuff I'm in charge of.
That's a good idea.
And then the stuff that I'm not in charge of, I just don't know.
So that brings me to asking about your wife.
Andrea Joyce.
Yes.
Right.
Sportscaster.
Pioneer.
For sure.
Yeah, big time.
I remember when back in the day when she was first on, and I was thinking that is so cool that your wife gets to be the sportscaster, because everybody would think it would be the other way, that she would be like a morning show host and you would be the sportscaster.
Right. Well, it was interesting because she was in the news business. We're both we worked at the same television station in Denver a long, long time ago. And I got a job in Dallas to work for CBS News. And so we were getting married. She comes down, starts to look for work, and it was right when the oil price collapsed in the 80s. Everybody's laying people off like crazy. But she's really, really good. And one station said, well, you can come in and do like weekend relief work. Mm-hmm. And days later, they offered her a job. And it was the general manager at that station who, she was always hanging out at the sports department, right? And they were always talking sports. And she grew up in a kind of a sports crazy household. And somebody gets sick, somebody's off, somebody's this, somebody's that. And the guy says, can you go do a live shot from the Dallas Mavericks basketball game at 6 o'clock? She said, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I can do this. And that led to another thing that led to another, to another, to another. That's how she started. But she used to do a show from Dallas Cowboys training camp. And, there were no women in the locker rooms back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So Tom Landry, the famous coach of the Cowboys, walked into the locker room one day and said, boys, Andrea's here, right? And you're going to respect that. And that's how so she was
a pioneer.
She was there back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very well respected in what she does. I still like to see her reports. So she's still doing all kinds of sports stuff, and
almost everything she does now is Olympic related. Mm-hmm. She does a lot of figure skating and a lot of gymnastics. There's some big gymnastics thing she's going to next week. Don't ask me where. I'm not in charge.
She knows. She knows where to go. Yeah. She knows you're here and that you'll come back. But you don't have little kids in the house anymore to watch over, so you can probably keep your own schedules and not worry so much, right?
Little kids, little problems. Big kids, big problems.
Truer words were never spoken.
Right?
Yeah. Where are the boys now?
One's splitting his time between Miami and New York, trying to get a business going, and the other one is a junior at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah,
playing lacrosse. So this is our time, because lacrosse season starts officially Saturday.
Oh, see, I'm not into lacrosse. I don't know a thing about it.
Fastest growing sport in the country.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It'll get here, but it's
going to take a while.
No, you'll be surprised. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to see a bunch of kids running around with sticks.
And I shouldn't be afraid. It'll be okay.
And little baskets on the end of them.
And back in the day, you played some football here at Central too, right?
Played a lot.
Yeah.
Played a lot.
Is that why you came to Central?
Yeah. It was interesting because I'd had a good senior year playing football. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of interest from state schools. And I grew up in the Reformed Church. I couldn't be any more Dutch. I'm as Dutch as they come. All of my grandparents were from the Netherlands. All right, my father's family is from Groningen, and my mother's family is Frisian. So they're like crazy.
I'm Frisian too.
Yeah. So the crazy part. No, I have a De Vries in our family.
Well,
one of my sisters is married to a De Vries.
Good.
Okay.
I thought there was a kinship. I could feel it.
Well, no, because the Frisians are all nuts. True or false?
Well, it's my husband's people.
Yeah.
So yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, no question.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just the truth. It's a separate dialect. They keep kind of on their own over there, and they do what they do, and right.
Okay.
Oh no, I've been back there. I've been on the ground.
Okay, I haven't been to the homeland. This is as close as I get to where we are.
It's pretty well. No.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Okay. That's what I've heard.
So my mother's maiden name is Koistra. Koistra.
Yeah.
And so they're the Frisians, and I've been in Friesland, and we're driving through, and there's this biggest windmill you've ever seen, and it's got a plaque on it. The name Koistra is on it, right? But all of my people, they were all peasants, and how they got the guilders together to get in the bottom of a boat. And when I first started to go to New York to, for work and even just for recreation, I always go down to the Battery Park, sit on a bench, and just stare at the Statue of Liberty. Because how did these people do this? How did they?
What a step of faith.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we looked up some records, and, I think it was my mother's mother's father? We found out the guy was working basically as an indentured servant, right?
Yep.
That was, unless you had an education, that was your option. So how they said. So anyway, they ended up in South Chicago. A lot of Dutchmen in South Chicago. I went to a Reformed church. I came out here. I knew a couple of people here. I have a brother who lives in town who had gone to Central, and I thought, well, this is the safe place because I didn't want to be corrupted. And so I came here.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, the best part about it was by going to an actual liberal arts college, I fell in love with learning in a way that had I gone someplace else, I don't think that would have happened. It just like lit a fire in me. And it's been burning ever since. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I can see why you have a deep love for Central College.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Right? And I'm still in touch with people, I took courses from, my professors. Went out and visited Betty Brunstang out at the cottages last night. She was one of my great professors. Right?
Yeah.
I had dinner with one of them just last week in New York as he was traveling through. So the relationships are gigantic.
So when you were at Central College, did you have your sights set on being like what you are today?
No,
or did it just kind of happen and you were along for the ride? Or
I came and I thought I wanted to teach high school and become a football coach because that was what
That seemed like the greatest thing in the world.
Right. And then there were a couple of guys in the theology department, and they really thought I was going to seminary. They were sure I was going to seminary.
So when I asked you if you wanted to preach today, that's where you kind of choked just a little bit?
Anyway,
yeah.
That
wasn't it.
I was broke. I just didn't even know how to do it, how to make it work. And I thought, I'm just going to try and find something to. Having done all screwed around at the radio station in town and at the college radio station, then back in the day, I just thought, if you're going to work, Thoreau or somebody said most men live lives of quiet desperation, right? So if you're going to work every day, why don't you try to find something that at least, get you pumped up a little bit?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try this radio stuff. And I was okay. And my career went great. I mean, it was kind of amazing. And then I had a very successful afternoon drive radio show in Denver, and I was making okay money. And I knew that that playing records and whatever that, I was more interested in meeting people, interviewing people, being out on the street. And I said, I got it. I have to get away from this. I have to figure out a way to morph what I'm doing now into something that I really care about. So,
and you did.
Son of a gun. Here I am.
Look at that.
How did that happen? Right?
That's kind of how life happens. Sometimes you look back and go, how did that happen?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But a lot, I really give the college a lot of credit just for, because that liberal arts education where you take some history, you take some English, you take, a lot of different things. And there's so many opportunities. I sang in a cappella choir in the college. Oh my gosh. We got on a bus.
You did it all.
We got on a bus and went to California one year. We got on a bus and went to New York one time. Right?
Yeah. So Central College opened up your eyes to a bigger world than the Midwest.
I taught English in Taiwan, summer between my junior and senior year. Like to kill me. I mean, it was really hard. Physically and psychologically, because that place was not great place to be
Yeah.
back in those days. But it was these guys. It was guys from the religion department said, Presbyterian Church is running this thing. You see, fill out an app, see what happens. Wow.
Next thing you know, you're on a plane to Taiwan.
Yeah, crazy, right?
What'd your parents think of all these things you were doing? I mean,
No, I don't think they understood it, because there's 8 children in the family. Only one other of us went to college, and neither of my parents made it past junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
My father is one of the smartest guys I ever met, but
not on paper.
No, read 2 papers every night. We couldn't eat dinner until he was done reading the Chicago Daily News and the local Hammond Times.
Do you think that gave you kind of the instinct for how important news is to the world when you saw your father reading that paper every day?
It wasn't to the world, it was to him, right? So what do we do in our lives? All we're really trying to do is please our parents. So
just talked with my dad this morning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. So, so I wake up in the news business all these years later, and by then he had suffered with Alzheimer's and had passed on. He never saw what I ended up becoming.
But he's proud.
Well, he was always mad at me.
Oh man, I think we could open up a whole new can of worms right there.
I'm just kidding.
Were you that kind
of
kid?
No.
No.
That was. Now we really are delving into
Yes.
the psychiatrist couch. No, I was as good a kid as
That's
there
what I
ever
do.
was.
Or are you the youngest of 8?
Yeah. Never, kids drink beer in high school. I didn't do that. I just didn't fool around with girls. I didn't, I was chaste.
Okay, and you did radio, so I think you must have been an almost perfect child. So of all the things you've done, what's the thing that stands out to you as being the most, not the most important, the thing you've enjoyed the most? What have you enjoyed the most in your life?
This moment.
Me too.
See,
there you go.
all you have to do is ask.
You just never know what a day will hold, do you?
Well, I'm not good at it, but what I try to subscribe to is to say yes to stuff. Right? Mm-hmm. So, somebody walks up to me. I'm trying to get some breakfast in the student union this morning, and this your friend,
Miss Kitty.
yeah, comes over.
Well,
and
you
says,
probably don't call her Miss Kitty.
Can I ask you something? I said, but shoot, fire away. She said, do you have time to go over and talk to da da da? And I said, okay. Right?
Right.
So just say yes to stuff. No, it's interesting because
yes.
So otherwise,
I get what you're saying.
Otherwise, I don't meet you.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
We have this fun conversation. It was fun for me.
It's fun for me.
Right.
I think 2 or 3 people listening are enjoying it. I hope so.
That many.
much more many. Everywhere you go today, people will say, "So, heard you on the radio." Yeah.
Okay.
So this might, propel your career somewhere else. But I like what you say yes to things, because my daughter said, Mom, you're really going to interview him? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think sometimes we try to overanalyze what we're going to do next, and then we end up not.
Should I tap that guy on the shoulder? Should I tell somebody that what they did was really, really meaningful?
Yeah.
Right? That just those moments like that. And sometimes you're like, oh, that guy's kind of a big guy, or he's a big shot, or, who knows what. And it also tells you something about them and how they sort of respond to that. But that's not what's important. Mm-hmm. It's really that if you really appreciated that, or really thought that was thoughtful, or that, because life goes by. We're all, it's like a train going 1,000,000 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And it's the soft tissue that's important, I think. Right? That being able to say, that was, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. People in my office will say, boy, that story was really good. And I said, thank you so much. Right? I've been doing this forever. But I really just appreciate the opportunity to do what I get to do. So I'm lucky.
You've just proven my point, because I always thought when I watched you on the news that the reason people liked you is because you're just a regular guy.
No, I'm not. This is my.
This is not you at all?
This is my regular guy act.
Now your cover's been blown for sure.
Everybody knows.
Okay, I see you checking your watch, and I know
got it.
lots of people want you to be different places, and I do appreciate the fact that you stopped by today.
Thanks for asking. Right?
Never know when it might happen again.
And you didn't ask me anything I couldn't answer, which is the good part.
Yeah, well, your people called and made sure you over my questions. Thank you, Harry Smith, and he'll be at Central College tonight interviewing
Harold Hand.
for Entrepreneurs Week.
Well, yeah, he's an unbelievable entrepreneur.
Yeah. So if you want information about that, call people at Central, because neither one of us know how you get there or what it costs, except that we have people that handle those things.
Or something like
Something like that.
Yeah. Hey, DeVries.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Smith.
Should I go through the names? I'll go through the names.
Okay.
8 children in my family.
Yes, please
right?
do.
The oldest one married a Hoekstra.
Okay.
The second one married a Swearinga. The third one married a Van Ramshorst.
Wow.
The fourth one married a Kickert. The fifth one married a Dehaan. I missed one. The fifth one married a DeVries, then a Dehaan, and then a. I worked for this guy for years on the farm. Zeldenrust. Zeldenrust. We always thought that meant seldom rest.
I think you might be right.
Because we worked on the farm for that guy when I was a kid.
That would
Oh, my
describe
gosh.
most of the Dutch people I know.
Awful.
Okay, then you've got your credentials. You can come back here anytime.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you're
pretty good,
you're
right?
legit. Yeah.
And so then I married a half Russian, half Hungarian.
Well, somebody had to mix it up.
Thank
you,
It
Mr. Smith.
Scandal.
This is KCWN with Calling Glory. Walk with you on 99.9.